legislation. We got a lot to discuss. Very somber, but I want to welcome your host and MC, Mr. Mark Sweetman.
Hey, I'm getting there. There I am. And the host, I'm trying to do the technical stuff. Yeah, I've been talking about this for a while, but I think we got to go to pre-recorded opening.
I think you're right.
I just feel that way. Okay, let me get Andy back out here. There we go. All right.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I think the pre-recorded idea is pretty good. We gotta, get that rolling.
All right. Let's. I'm gonna see if I can find maybe a bit of software or an app that'll do most of the work for us. I mean, with AI now, we're in our 5th year of off night, and they weren't even talking about AI 4 years ago. You know what I mean? And so there's got to be something better than when we first started.
Oh yeah. I'm sure we could probably find something. Even Chat GPT would put something together. So yeah. So,
well, I want to say hello to Susan if she's watching. She's not with us tonight. She had a potluck with one of her lady groups. I don't know if it's quilting or.
Does it actually mean potluck now? I mean, we have.
It could. I guess it could, couldn't it? Yeah.
It had no connotations before. It had to maybe come up with a casserole night or hot dish.
You know what? She brought a veggie tray with a
That's
dip.
even more incentive there.
Yeah, with
veggie tray.
A veggie tray, and the dip she brought looked like it could have had some marijuana crunched up and sprinkled. Oh, that's our cat.
Yeah, I just saw that. Man,
that's our new cat, Squash. It's so funny. Our first cat is named Pumpkin, and this cat is named Squash. We're keeping it in the gourd family. Naming all our pets after gourds. But anyway,
if they come up and hit you, they're getting your gourd. Is that right?
That absolutely. Hey, I'm writing that one down. Better write that one down.
Okay. Wow.
Anyway, she's at now. I don't know. She has quilting. She has a bunch of stuff going on besides. The comedy we see her do on Sunday night, and the paralegal work she does during the day. But she's in a.
You can say she's in 2 comedy shows at once. Paralegal work and comedy.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yes. Anyway, she's in a quilt group, and she's in 2 choirs. And what else does she do? Oh, she's the historian for the local DAR, Daughters of American Revolution.
Oh wow!
Which is now that's going to come to a crux too, because the Daughters of American Revolution are not really well known as being a liberal group. They're a little bit conservative.
Yeah.
And some have called them racist, although I haven't seen any evidence of that.
That's not the same as a group that put up all those Lee and all those statues.
Oh, the statues? No, that is the Daughters of the Confederacy.
Daughters of the Confederacy, yeah. So
the American Revolution. That's the one. We were on the right side on that one. The Confederacy, they were on the wrong side. So
exactly. There you go.
But anyway, now that she's got 3 daughters who will now be eligible for entry, my wife and her sisters got in because their family goes back to the Mayflower.
Oh my gosh! Really?
Yeah.
I heard something about the Mayflower is that they would all sleep sitting up. Nobody lied down. They would just sleep like next to each other, just sort of sleeping like that.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the Mayflower? Was not that large.
No, it's just like
very small. Very small.
How many people can actually be from the Mayflower? They must have been prodigious. Growing kids or something.
They were freed from the crown of England. they were able to produce as much. They had a whole continent. They had a whole continent that they could steal from the natives, and they did. So.
It is. Well, if you guys aren't using it, it's your philosophy. We have a philosophy of ownership. You have a philosophy of everybody has it. So who do you think is going to win?
Exactly. Anyway, so she's not here. Any news? Any Andy news before I go to the poem?
I'm desperately trying to get to Key West so I can do the Hemingway thing, but my
man.
finances are kind of falling through. So I'm
Yeah.
50,
Now, is that the same week every year? I might do that one year because I could pull
it's the same week every year because his birthday is on the 21st, I believe,
of July.
of July. So it's like it's every week, and then I got lucky by I just called up, I just put my $50 in, and I could join. And I want to tell you, there is no reward. I don't think there's any sort of reward other than the fact that you're going to be winner of the Hemingway contest. However, the contest is like 3 days long. I didn't realize this either. And there's like a whole series of like running to the bulls, which basically like they have these bulls
in Key West.
Not real bulls. They're just basically
okay.
the faces of bulls on 4 wheels, and you're supposed to run in front of them. I go, I don't know if I signed up for that.
See, the thing is, if you're gonna do now, I can see Hemingway in Key West, and I can see Hemingway up north here in Michigan, where he lived in Michigan.
Yeah.
And I can see him, but if you're going to run the bulls, you got to go over to Spain for that. You got to go to Pamplona to run with them.
I know, but they basically have people trying to gorge the Hemingway people. And I don't know. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was meant by the running of the bulls.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a slight fishing contest or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, let me get to Susan's poem, and then we'll get everybody else out here, and we'll have a good time because it's been a fun week, wouldn't you say? Anyway, let's get to that.
There's been a lot going on. Yes.
After 34 convictions, Trump compared himself to Christ. He presented himself a martyr to the Christians sacrificed. Saturday's assassination attempt deserved an in-depth second looks. Trump and the 3 bystanders were shot by Thomas Matthew Crooks. Did you know the 20-year-old gunman was a registered Republican? Will Trump compare it next to golf and ask for a mulligan? We have learned of celebrities this week are dearly departed. Shannon Doherty and Shelley Duvall. We are all brokenhearted. Whether you have cellulite or abs, no need to compete. Just join this man's workout and move your feet. This man was unique. What else can we say? Sad to learn, Richard Simmons has also passed away. And Dr. Westheimer, the sex therapist, some called uncouth. She was a young 96. We shall miss you, Dr. Ruth.
Nice.
And that's Susan's poem for the week. I think she captured all the things we're probably going to talk about tonight.
She got the rhymes in pretty good. I tell you, that's pretty good.
Yes, I told her. I told her what she should do is she should find a musician. Well, she is a musician, in fact, and that's another thing she does. She's also in the church orchestra. She plays flute and piccolo in the church orchestra. Very talented lady. Anyway, so let's get our gang out here.
Okay.
Usually we have them to say to Susan, because Susan takes off after her bit. But let's get and here is we have it's always nice to have a New Yorker, and he's our Jew. And we gotta have you're gonna do a comedy show. Don't you have to have somebody Jewish on the show? I think you do, right?
Okay.
There he is. Here's Sam.
What do you say?
Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is.
He's our Jew.
I meant that in a loving way.
Well,
I didn't mean that's the way it sounded.
That was like in what was it, Annie Hall? When she says, my mother would say, you're like a real Jew.
A real
and he
Jew.
says, did she say which Jew?
My favorite shot in that whole movie is the Christopher Walken driving them to the airport.
Oh, that's the Oscar. That's the Oscar-winning picture.
That is it. I mean, it doesn't matter what else happened in that film.
Woody Allen looking in terror, and Diane Keaton oblivious
to what was going on. That is one of my favorite movie scenes of all time.
Sometimes when I'm driving, I have this fantasy that I'm driving and I want to plow head into a car on the other side.
I want to plow it.
That's very nice. I'd like to talk longer, but I'm due back on planet Earth.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, now that we've got our New York Jewish representation, let's get our redneck gay contingent onto the show here.
2 words you don't hear every day together.
Redneck gay. Here we go. Here's Jason Grant, everybody.
I prefer the expression crimson throat, but that's just me.
There you go.
Hey, Sam, listen, if I make it to New York, can you get me over to your cousin in the diamond section there? And we get
What
you
I
know,
know about the Diamond District, you could put in a thimble and have room for an agent's heart.
What is that? East 56th Street? Is that the Diamond?
No,
District?
no, no, no. 6th Avenue between 47th and 48th.
47, 48. Okay. I walked. When I was there.
No.
When I was
Can
there.
I tell you something that makes it unique?
What?
There's no bill of sale. Everything is done with a handshake.
There you go.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah.
In such a large city in this day and age, that is amazing.
Everything is done with a handshake. And
Yeah.
you will never, unless you are a gemologist, which I would really like to study, but unless you're a gemologist, you will never have any idea what you're doing. You just won't.
It's
No.
amazing how there's just one store after another too. It just goes on.
Oh, and if you're walking down the street, it's like you're getting propositioned by hookers. You know, hi, you want to come in? No, I
It
hate
sounds fabulous.
I
actually.
hate diamonds.
When-
I hate Selma Diamond. I
That's how much you hate diamonds.
All right, I'm coming out of here. You better get yourself decent. All right.
She hates Selma
this
diamonds.
is
She
for
hates-
ladies only. And
Yeah.
so is this mop.
So is
But
this
every
mop.
once in a while, I have to let a little water through it.
He hates Selma Diamond. He hates Neil Diamond. He hates Jackie Diamond.
I hate baseball diamonds.
but I got a thing for Lou Diamond.
Oh,
Phillips in a
by the
bathing
way,
suit.
speaking of baseball, I don't know if Sam pays attention to this, but for Jason and Andy, are the 2024 Tigers now giving you the 2022 Lions vibe?
Yes.
I think they are.
Yeah.
You
Jason,
mean getting better by the day?
They're 8-2 in going into went 8-2 against the top teams, against Cleveland, against the Dodgers, and Cincinnati isn't a top team, but they swept them. So
You know what's amazing to me?
but the Dodgers and the Guardians. The Dodgers and the Guardians are tops in their leagues.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
amazes me how consistently good and right under the radar the Indians are. Excuse me, the Guardians.
Guardians. Yeah.
I mean, no one pays attention to them, and they're killing.
They are killing, and they have a new manager. They what's his name?
Francona retired.
Yeah,
Well, it's because
Francona.
nobody can remember their names. You know, that's how they're under the radar. You know.
Well, I took the girls to see the Tigers play the Indians last week, and
Guardians.
I'm sorry.
Indians.
I'm sorry, but there's still a lot of. Well, you know, Cleveland's only a couple hours away, so we always get. We have a great division. We got Cleveland, we got Chicago. You know, we always get those spans from those teams, and then we go to Cleveland and Chicago to watch those games too. So,
Yeah, but Chicago is like the worst team in the majors.
oh, they're horrible. They might break the record. What is it? 121.
Well, you know what their motto is? You think you suck.
You know it's weird. The last 2 years they got free agents that I wanted the Tigers to grab onto, and in both instances they flamed out. I'm going, I'm glad the Tigers didn't get them.
Oh, by the way, I could be wrong about this, but if I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But I believe Dr. Ruth died at the age of 97,
Oh,
not
okay.
96. And also, the brilliant Larry Amorose, he goes, we're all mourning the loss of Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who, not among many people, was a horrible lay.
Who did the line? Dr. Ruth Westheimer died. All American men are at half mast.
But the other one I love is, he says, Richard Simmons, just before he died, came out with an exercise tape decomposing to the oldies.
Was that Larry? Was that Larry's line?
That was Larry.
Oh God, we should get him on this show. He'd be great. He'd be great on this show.
Let me see. It would be 5. What time is it now? It'd be 5:15 his time.
Yeah, but it's Monday. You know. What the
Oh
hell?
no, he doesn't have a bit. You know where he lives? He lives in Palm Desert.
Yeah, I know. He lives by where my you know who else lives out there is Steve Bluestein lives out that way.
Who? Steve
Bluestein.
Bluestein?
Do you know him? Do you know?
Yeah,
Steve?
I know of him.
Yeah. And my dad lived out that way until he passed away.
By the way, I'll tell you something that I think is very funny. They interviewed Donald Trump Jr. and they asked him, "What did you think about your father's choice of J.D. Vance?" Why are you asking him his opinion on anything his father does? It is always going to be positive. It is always going to be thumbs up. It is never going to be, I can't believe he picked him. Ever. Never. If you ever watch The Apprentice and Trump would fire somebody, it was always Donald Trump Jr. They all did it, though. And they say, well, Dad, that was a tough choice, but you really nailed it. They never disagree with him because they know if they disagree with him, he will drop them. He will bury them. He doesn't give a shit if they're his son. That's why you always see Eric Trump on The Apprentice going like this. Well, me too, Dad. You know, they don't disagree with him ever about anything.
There are things that no matter what he does, policy wise or political speeches, no, he can do no good for three things that just creep me out about him.
Donald Trump Jr.
No. I'm talking about Donald Trump. Donald Trump disrespecting Senator John McCain because he got shot down. Two,
and saying I don't think he's a hero.
I don't think
Heroes
he's a hero.
don't get captured. That was the worst fucking statement you could imagine.
Yeah, well, presidential candidates don't get shot. So anyway, but but the other one was now I've lost my train of thought.
Making fun of Biden's stutter.
Making fun of the reporter, the disabled reporter.
Oh, Serge Kovaleski.
Yeah, that one drove me
Yes,
nuts.
and only I know his name. But yes, that's it.
And this one may not seem as bad, but it creeps me out even more. He buried his ex-wife on his golf course.
Now, I kind of like that.
Do you like that one? Do you like
I kind of dig that.
That is just an ex-wife who fell down the stairs.
So they say.
So exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, he had no reason to kill her.
We're gonna make
That's-
damn sure, and that's right. At least
That's right.
what it
Actually,
seemed.
all of his ex-wives have been very what do you call it? Disrespectful, or what do you call it? There's a better word.
Complimentary.
No.
Sanguine.
Yeah. No. Basically, shutting the fuck up. Whatever the proper term for shutting the fuck
Submissive?
up. Circumspect. They've been circumspect.
Ooh, circumspect.
Thank you.
That happens on the
you.
seventh.
Is that what
day,
happens
doesn't
to
it?
Jews when they're little?
I think it is. Yeah. The rabbi comes by and says, "You should be circumspect, boy."
Yeah. Talk about somebody who wants to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I love that. A guy walks off the major part of my happy day, and my mother goes, "Try the kugel." Yeah, thanks, Mom.
It isn't until later on you find out she invited him over for this. I mean, it was
Exactly.
Yeah.
Two of our
And then he takes the leftover and he sews it together and rubs it, and now you have Samsonite luggage.
Oh my
two
God.
of our sons were circumcised by Moyles, and we're not even Jewish.
Well, you know they used to do this joke about the leader of Saudi Arabia at the time, King Abdullah, the moil of oil, the man who cut it off.
I love that.
You of course
great.
know why Nixon was never circumcised.
Why who?
Why Nixon was never circumcised. It's
Why?
because there's just ain't no end to that prick.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like that one.
Back from 1972, folks. That's what
Let
we're
me
here
ask
to
you
do.
something.
Yeah.
If he wasn't such a paranoid individual, I think he would have gone down as a great president.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what did him in was he recorded his crimes.
Well, they all, that recording system wasn't. That's why we have the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the XCOM meetings have all been recorded. That goes back to FDR.
But he said he basically wanted them to get the Daniel Ellsberg papers. The Pentagon papers.
They wanted to find out who was leaking. That's why he had the plumbers to fix the leak.
Right.
And that's why he was using ex-CIA men. And that's why a couple days after the break-in, he has Richard Helms, who at the time was the head of the CIA, come in. And that's why he says most famously, Dick, I know who killed Jack. And that's referencing Jack Kennedy.
I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, but I said, the Supreme Court's ruling on immunity for the presidency came 50 years too late for Nixon.
Well,
Oh, and
know,
how? Let's give a big hand to Eileen Cannon, the whore of Florida. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah, the only thing I want to know about her: does she swallow or does she spew it on her face? You know, when she's
What I
blowing
want to know
when she's
is
blowing Donald Trump.
how pissed off is Marco Rubio about JD Vance?
Yeah.
Why would
Yeah,
you be
he just
pissed
shit
off?
his pants.
I just put out a TikTok. I haven't done it yet, but it's going to be Vance. This is Rubio talking. Vance, are you shitting me? I flew down to Mar-a-Lago on my own dime. I bust tables for that fat fuck. Are you kidding me? He kept saying, "Hey, speak Spanish, little Marco." I like to put my foot up his ass. Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's hear it for the white Gentile. Oh, good for him.
You know as well as I do that Marco Rubio has no business being. Well, first off, maybe not even be in the Senate.
You could stop there, and you're right.
But I mean, he has absolutely no business being anywhere near the presidency. I mean, just not even.
Who's that woman from Alabama? I can't believe she's in the Senate.
Katie Britt.
Katie Britt. Yep, that's unbelievable.
I mean, I would rather channel again Margaret Chase Smith from beyond the grave with a Ouija board to be the leader.
Listen, let me just say this: why is anybody surprised about the Senate, the people in the Senate from Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia? You got to. There's no reason to be surprised.
No,
there's none. You know,
no.
At least Lady G in South Carolina has a modicum of intelligence. But
Lady G. I mean,
we can debate that one.
but they of course they also have Tim Scott. I just love you.
Yeah.
and by the way, that's one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
South Carolina Senate contingent basically is all the characters that we saw in the theater, 50 years ago.
Well, it's kind of like if Pearly Victorious had an unhappy ending.
Yes.
I mean, Tim Scott, Jesus Christ. Who did he run against?
A drag queen from somewhere.
What? We have Google here. We're going to find out who Tim Scott ran against. We're going to find out.
Yeah,
I think it was another black guy.
These are machine states, though. Come on. I mean, you know as well as I do. A lot of these places, if you secure the nomination, and it's the dominant party within the state or the region, you're in.
Is that Graham behind you?
Who else would it be?
Lindsey Graham.
Don't you love that expression?
Oh, by the way, here's my impression of Bill Belichick. I don't care what you think. I couldn't give a shit what you think. Yeah, I know how old she is. I don't give a shit what you think.
Exactly.
Tim Scott was appointed by Nikki Haley to fill Senator Jim DeMint's term.
Yeah, but he's won.
And then he ran again. Wait a minute. And then he ran against Crystal Matthews, whom I never heard of. Presumably a local.
Isn't that a drug?
Politician. Yes.
Oh, I thought you said crystal meth.
Crystal Matthews.
Crystal meth
sounds like some sort of ice capade thing or something.
It does. Anyway, he replaced Senator Jim DeMint, who.
Why did DeMint? Did he retire? I guess he did.
He resigned to head up the Heritage Foundation, which is responsible for Project 2025.
I hope they all die in a plane crash.
Wow.
But other than that, you're in full support.
And I hope it's painful. I hope their bodies are smoldering.
Well, Project 2025 is kind of
now. Wait a minute, Jason. You cannot be for Project 2025 because you're on the death list for Project 2025.
I've been on the death list for so many things at this point in time. I'm like, would you hurry up? What is taking you so long?
I hope you're not hoping to get Social Security and Medicare because they want to eliminate that.
I'm 63. Go right ahead. Do whatever you got it. I've got the state right now sending me a demand letter for $7,000 for unemployment that I was lawfully paid for back in 4 years ago.
You're saying it now.
No, wait a minute. Jason, wait. I thought they talked about this a couple years ago when this first came up. That was a computer error, and you're supposed to be relieved of that.
Mark,
Jason, do you
I'm
know how many
holding here in
surgeries
my
I've had that
hand-
Medicare paid for?
I'm
Do
holding
you have any
here in my
idea?
hand a letter from the Michigan Department of, what is it? Called a PI, from Michigan Department of Labor and Economics, weeks of overpayment and claimant and all the stuff they want to take from me. It's right here, much like Joe McCarthy, except this is real. It's not a Chinese menu, like Joe did.
So you say.
Yeah.
Ha.
Well, talk to your state rep and see if they can assist with that. Because I know,
unfortunately, the nice Jewish man. Seriously, we had a really nice Jewish guy whose name I totally has been replaced by some useless goy, and I'm gonna have to contact. Oh come
Well,
on, you know
Irwin,
you got some.
Irwin helped me get my get my.
Did you say some useless goy?
Yeah,
Is
he
that
did.
a redundant term, or is that?
I just thought it was redundant.
Should we just say? Yeah, we just say goy, right? I'm sorry.
Well,
State
Senator Irwin got me my
Yes.
backlog on
Got me through the system and got
Yeah.
myself, because the only thing that happened, and why on earth would I want to claim unemployment when they took away the business that I was doing? The business where I rented my car went out of business, and suddenly I was left without, a bucket to piss in, a window to throw it out of, and I made tons of money for big mega corporations while I didn't get to keep jack fuck all for myself. But there you go. That's my sad tale of woe in this wonderful country. Whatever. You know what? I'll write the response. We'll get it figured out. And why the Democrats think it's a good idea to go after someone who's just getting off the fucking lowest rungs of the economic ladder, I don't know. But they've chosen to put a target on the back of my ass. So go ahead. 2025, it's not law yet. This is in my pocket. It's right here, right now.
Copenhagen, when
well, my plan is all set to go to Canada. I'm listed on the singles Canada, Canada singles.
Oh, are you?
You can swipe left or A. A. That's good. A. I'll take that one.
Swipe A.
Swipe A. Yeah, there you go. Swipe
There
A.
you go. There you go. Just swipe A there. Just swipe an A there.
There you go. Yeah, I'll do swipe an A.
Just do that there. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's the way you definitely you want to do it that way. Yeah.
I got
Sure.
I got family in Canada, so thank God I'm only 20 miles away from it.
Yeah,
You're only 20 miles away from Canada?
See, unlike you, Sam, we can run to Canada anytime we want.
Actually, as the crow flies, I'm about 12, but I have to take the bridge. So
you could walk to Canada.
I could get there in half a day. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't be an issue. No problem at all.
Yeah, and tell you what, here's what 2001 the attack on the U.S. Civilian buildings did for us. 9/11 meant that we can't use that tunnel that we always used to go through when we were kids.
Remember to go to the Windsor Ballet?
Yeah,
to be 18, to drink beer and
Sam.
Yes.
I was able to drink in 1978 as an 18-year-old. In 1979, they raised the drinking age to 21, which meant I had to make an extra. I lived like 6 blocks at the time when I was at Wayne State, so I had to make an extra journey over to Canada to get my beer. So,
well, that sucks for you.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, it did.
But then but with the exchange rate, it actually worked out to be quite a deal.
About to say, because we'd go over there, we'd use Canadian Monopoly money, which was great, and all you had to do was sing a couple bars of "God Save the Queen," and you were in, and that was about it.
Everybody in Detroit knows Canada because of the Red Wings.
Mark, do you know who Mary Birdsong is?
Sure do. I don't know.
I just sent her I just sent you her headshot.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Look at it now.
All right.
Careful how you use that expression, headshot.
Back into the left. Was that headshot back into the left? Okay.
Let me find my. There we go. Look there.
Welsh picture. I got that exact picture.
Look there. Ooh, where'd you send it to? Oh, here it is. I see it just came over. Oh, that took a while. Took a whole minute. What?
Exact picture.
That's not Mary Birdsong.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
1 million years BC.
What a documentary that was. My
Looks
God.
like Bruce.
was.
Looks like Bruce Jenner.
I think even Jesus.
Mary? No, no. I sent you a great picture of Mary.
Mary Birdsong. Hold on.
Oh yeah. 1 million years BC.
Where'd you
What a
get-
fine movie.
Riding a dinosaur in there.
Where'd you get this? Where'd you get this photo?
It's her headshot. She sent it to me. We're Facebook pals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't
She-
know her personally, but
She loves my TikTok. If I don't want to brag,
yeah.
you know, did you see how great she was in the Descendants?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's a picture of what the world will look like if Donald Trump wins.
What is that?
It's a picture of what?
Soylent
Yes.
Green.
Ah,
Another
I
great
believe that they're
documentary.
people.
Yes.
Yeah,
they are
yeah,
people.
and the Mexican
People,
stuff, man, it kind of makes it a little
Soylent
hot,
Green
makes
is
it a little gassy.
people.
Remember Billy Crystal's line about Edward G. Robinson as a biblical figure?
Yes.
Where's
Yeah.
your Moses
Where's
now?
your Moses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
And the
Yeah,
problem
where's your
is,
fatted calf now? Yeah.
When I was in high school, I used to go around saying, "I got the cigar now. I'm in charge," and no one in my high school knew what I was talking about, except for the teacher.
oh,
That was one of those things. That was one of the teachers. You'd crack the teachers up and go, "You need to get out of this school." Yeah.
Well, I used to do this and talk about no one getting it. I go, I'm in charge, see? I just went to the Red, see? And when I'm thirsty, I drink high, see?
See?
And they're staring at me like I'm speaking Serbian.
That's
Very,
very funny.
yeah, I had a great setup line
Very
in
funny.
high school.
Yeah.
The teacher
Mr.
was
Piano
talking about
Man.
MacArthur, and a girl out of nowhere said, "Whatever happened to MacArthur?" I just said he faded away. You know, so.
Oh, by the way, you know, the Eagles are at, hello.
Hello.
What?
The
Not now.
Uh-oh.
Damn it.
Yeah, damn it.
The Eagles are in Vegas,
Oh no.
right? In one of those artist in residence things. Guess who's back with them?
I'm hungry.
Joe Walsh?
Linda Ronstadt. I don't know.
Bernie Ledden.
Oh, no kidding. The banjo player.
Linda can't sing.
No, her voice is shy. It's a pity.
Yeah, it's gone. You know what's
Yeah.
sad? Linda Ronstadt and Julie Andrews cannot sing. What a tragedy.
Man.
Jesus.
Yeah, but
Well,
there was
they
a time they
should-
could.
They should. They could fill in for Steve Martin and Martin Short though.
They could. That's so evil. That is so wrong on
They
it.
could just sing different songs, like you know, Tom Waits. Oh, they just sing Tom Waits songs. It'd be
Tom
perfect.
Waits. That's funny.
Oh dear.
Now, what's his name? Randy Meisner. He's dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
one
it?
guy- There's one guy that will never work for him again. Who's the guy that left the tour last time?
Don Felder.
Don Felder. He'll never work with him.
You know what I love about his name? It
What?
sounds like something a Jewish guy would say. Did you get me Don Felder? Well, you know what happened with Felder, right? He wrote like, this is no bullshit, 2 chords of Hotel California,
Right.
So he wants to write.
and he
his
wanted
credit
to sing it. And I'll never forget what Glenn Fry said. He said, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I sing less on our songs than I used to. And he goes, do you know why? Because we have Don Henley.
on it.
Okay, let me repeat that. We have Don Henley.
Henley.
and Mr. Felder is not Don Henley. So, and he pitched a bitch about it. But the thing that really broke it with him was Henley and Fry were very big, what am I trying to say? Naturalists, you know what I mean? Environmentalists.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they had this is how long ago this was. They had a meeting with Alan Cranston.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow.
the senator from California,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
was thanking them for the work they did on behalf of saving Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
So all the Eagles are lined up like there, Norm Van Brocklin. No, all the Eagles are lined up there. All the Eagles, Timmy Brown. No, all the Eagles, Chuck Bednarik was there. No, all the Eagles are lined up. And,
in the stadium.
what's his name? Cranston and his wife thank each of them, right? And he goes, thank you so much. And their wives are there. And Joe Walsh said it was a highlight of his life. He loves Cranston.
Right.
I actually met Cranston at a softball game, and that's another story. That's where I met Thomas Eagleton. But anyway, so they get to Don Felder, and all the Eagles are going like this. Like Cranston would say, thank you very much. And he goes, no, thank you, sir. Or you're welcome. You're more than welcome. This is Felder. You're welcome, I guess. and Fry exploded.
Oh my God.
He had to walk away because he was going to punch. He had to walk away. So later that night, they were doing a concert, and he said to him, "Why did you do that to Cranston?" He goes, "Oh, I want to save the planet." You fuck him. And Fry once again, he said, "I just wanted to kill him, and I knew if I killed him in California, I'd be set free." And so, and he said to him, he said, and their sound man, Cisnik, Chuck Cisnik,
Jack Cisnik.
Cisnik, he recorded all this. I heard this, and he said to him, and Felder said, "Excuse me," Fry said to him, "I'm going to kill you when this is over." And so the concert ends. This is what I love. The concert ends, and then Fry says, so Felder, because he's so brave, runs off stage and in a real fit smashes his guitar, and he looks at the camera and he goes, his cheapest guitar. But I thought, his cheapest guitar is probably $7,000.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's not an Emily. And so but that was the end of him in that. And he sued them, and I think they settled. But for years, he was like saying, I wrote Hotel California. And so at a couple of concerts, Fry would say, this goes out to someone who used to be with us who can't sing, could never sing. And Henley would go over to him and tap him on the shoulder and go, when I say, all right, I'm sorry. Like that. Not really scolding him, but Felder's still touring. He's a great guitarist.
Glenn Fry is from Royal Oak.
That's correct.
And Joe Walsh is from Ohio, but they used to hang around together here in Detroit at a time before they were all famous. It was Glenn Fry, Joe Walsh, Bob Seger, Iggy Pop. Trying to think of who else was with that crew. And the guys from MC5, Fred Smith,
Fred Sonic Smith,
the Patti Smith husband.
Yep.
And Wayne Kramer.
Yep. Who are all
did you hear this? MC5 finally got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And the two last remaining members both died before they had the ceremony. At least they found out about it.
So did the Go-Go's.
Dirty Dozen.
Yep. There you go. Thank you. Andy wins the prize.
Thank you.
Well, the guy who was the drummer for the Police.
Is that Stuart Copeland?
Yeah. Stuart Copeland, yeah.
When he found out at that time that the Go-Go's weren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he went, are you shitting me? They're not in? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? They're the only female group who wrote, produced, and had a #1 hit. They're the only women's group who did that.
At the time, yeah.
At the time.
Oh, and now that the MC5 is in, my next one I need to get in there is Tommy James. James way too many hits and a lot of different genres. I mean, he did psychedelic, they did old rock and roll, they did, you know,
Well, you should. He was with the last really genuinely mobbed up record company, because there were several other record companies that were interested in him, and then they would all get phone numbers saying, "Listen, it's hard for your talent to play guitar with broken fingers, so you should."
And it's hard to sing with no teeth.
Exactly. And it wasn't he and Tommy James got paid almost nothing until about 20 years ago, when that company's record portfolio was purchased by, I think, Sony or BMG, one of the big, more legitimate crooks. And they started paying him his royalties.
I noticed you said more legitimate, not legitimate.
No, well, come on, Sam. It's the record business.
Did you ever see Searching for Sugarman? Did you ever see that documentary on Rodriguez?
Yes.
Sixto Rodriguez. I mean, he finally got his money back.
Was that Danny Sugarman or?
No. What we're talking about, Sixto Rodriguez.
Okay.
It was a song that he wrote about Sugarman. Sugarman was the street name for the dealer.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, that's like Captain Spaulding with the Marx Brothers. Captain Spaulding at that time in the 20s or the 30s was the biggest drug dealer in Hollywood. So when they went away for Captain Spaulding, the people would say, "I'm going to go see Captain Spaulding." It meant you were going to score something.
Ah, there you go.
Nice.
And so here's a story. There's a place in D.C. called the Child Herald, and they used to have people who are like legendary now performing there. Emmylou Harris. I can't remember the guy's name. He did. He sang the song "Jean." Jean, roses are red.
Yep.
Oliver. And so one night, Arthur
Good Morning Starshine, Oliver.
Yes.
Okay.
So one night, Arthur Big Boy
wow.
Crudup is singing, right? And there's a guy who comes in to see the show, and during the break, he walks up to Arthur Big Boy Crudup, and he says, "Mr. Crudup," he says, "my name is Leonard Cohen, not the Leonard Cohen."
Oh, okay.
And he said,
"A Leonard Cohen."
A Leonard Cohen. Well, A Whitney Brown. And so he said, "We've been trying to reach you for 5 years, and you're hard to get hold of." He goes, and Crudup said, "The first thing I thought was, my goddamn ex-wife, that bitch." But it wasn't that. And they said, "We have a check for you. You know, you recorded for RCA your entire career. And whenever your royalties came, we had no mailing address for you. So we cut this check, and it's up to date as of last week, and we'd like you to have it. And I would like to tomorrow morning meet you at your hotel and walk you over to a bank and deposit it. And then I would like to introduce you to a money manager to take care of it, and he's legit. $295,000.
Holy cow!
You can go awful quick if you don't know what.
And Crudup started crying.
What year was this?
88.
Yeah, that's a lot of money in $295 in '88.
Oh,
and here's my other great story about. I don't think it's great, but Emmylou Harris is performing. So the way the Child Herald was, the performer was like up here, and you're sitting down here. So I'm there with a friend of mine, and my friend is snockered. And Emmylou Harris is about to play, and he goes, waitress, that loud. "Give me an Irish coffee. Hold the coffee." And Emmylou Harris gives him a look of death. And he says, "Let me tell you." I said, "Ron, look up at Emmylou. Look up at Emmylou right now." And he looked up and he went like this. "I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry." And she goes, "You should be." Whew. And I said, "You're not going to have another erection for 2 weeks, are you?" He goes, "Probably not."
Are you guys familiar with Toots Thielemans?
Yes, the great harmonicist.
Yes, he came to a jazz club in Ann Arbor. We used to have a really great jazz club, and I went with a friend of mine who got a little too drunk We're halfway. Toots is doing the theme. I believe it was for Midnight Cowboy.
Yes, that's him.
Yes, yeah. And my friend starts whistling along
Oh
audibly,
God.
to the point
Oh.
where staff had to come over. And now, to be fair, he had perfect pitch. He was playing, but it's like they're not here to listen to
Till-
you, Herb. Stop. And it's like, okay, you got to walk home. You're not. You can't drive with me. No, I did. No. Oh God.
Was
Well,
that the
I mean,
Bird
you
of
know-
Paradise?
yeah.
The
birds.
Drifters, whatever version of them there were at the time,
Yeah, there's still a Drifters version out there.
there's still a Drifters version. They were performing in Vegas. I was there, and they're performing, and people get up and start to dance while they're on stage. And whoever was the lead singer, I can't remember his name now.
Wasn't Benny King, was it?
No, but he was famous in his own right, but it wasn't any, I just can't remember. And he says, he goes over to the manager, he says, tell them to stop dancing or we're walking off stage. This is not a disco. We are performing. And the guy says, who do you think you are? And
Prince?
the guy, he says, we're the Drifters and we're leaving. And they started to walk off stage. They started to leave. And so the manager goes, folks, you got to sit down. Okay, there's no dancing while they're performing. What? Just sit the fuck down. You cannot dance while they're on stage. Do you understand that? Now sit down. And he goes up to the guy and he says, how was that? He goes, that's pretty good. Thank you. I appreciate it. And and so they're leaving the band. And one of the guys who was dancing says, how come we can't dance? He goes, because you're white. That's why you can't dance, because you are white.
That reminds me of the old John Lee Hooker quote after coming back from England for the first time. He goes, these white boys, they want to play the blues so badly, and they do.
Is that John Wayne Gacy?
With Rosalind Carter, yeah.
The Drifters are going to be at the Macomb Center for the Performing Arts next March 15th. So if you want to see
I think there's still a version of the Platters that is still out there.
I think you're right.
You know when you know civilization is coming to an end? When one of
When
the
the
groups you
Rolling
just
Stones-
mentioned has a white guy in it.
Yes. Well, the thing is, the things like the Drifters and the Platters, it's sort of an operation at this point. You know, they're not the originals. You know,
Oh,
there's
the originals are gone.
it's
Yeah.
a group of musicians
You know-
who are going to perform a certain genre of music from a portfolio, and they'll do it well. It'll sound good, but you're not seeing the original band. It's not.
No, there's no chance.
No.
Well,
You know.
since
Unless
a lot
you're
of-
having a seance.
since the original, Motown's building a museum around that studio on Grand Boulevard, right?
Uh-huh.
And the Fox Theater where they had all their Motown reviews is still standing. I think every time they lose a player in any of the Motown band, they should replace them. I mean, I think that should just keep going on and on.
Immediately.
The music still indoors. They've got the stage area. They've got
And you know there are people who can sing it.
yes, everybody in town can sing it.
But then there are bands like Foreigner, which has, I think, no original members left in it.
Not
And
Lou
they're doing-
Gramm?
if I'm not mistaken, he's not involved in the band anymore. You could look at Mark. You've got the Siri box there. I don't.
I'll get it for you.
Have
But
you
it is
seen
my-
Lou Gramm lately?
No.
Frightening. Horribly ugly.
Lou Quartergram.
Oh my God. Just
Foreigner.
seriously. Couldn't
But,
have a date if the girl was blind. Oh my God.
Mick Jones is the only original member.
Wow.
and-
Well,
yeah,
at least there's a goodie.
Yeah. Well,
and-
Mick Jones, he's responsible for the name Foreigner because when they got Lou Graham's American, and so
Yeah.
it was a British band with a different name, and they changed it to Foreigner when they hired Lou Graham to be their lead singer.
Oh, by the way, John Rich, the country singer,
Yeah.
big Trump supporter. Who was he? He was crapping on somebody, some rock and roller who's supporting Biden, and he goes, "Listen, no one gives a crap about you, okay? So why don't you just shut up and take your left-wing politics?" And I went, Do you understand the irony of you saying that? Do you get the irony of that?
No,
No.
no.
And so somebody wrote, Rich, who last had a hit in ... get ready ...
Yeah.
2004.
Okay. I was gonna say 97, but whatever.
But that was Big and Rich.
Yeah.
And Big is a liberal,
Yeah.
which I guess Rich overlooks.
Hey, can I interrupt for a sec?
Yes, sir.
Another person that died recently was also Robert Town.
Oh, who
Really?
wrote Chinatown?
Oh yeah,
He wrote Chinatown.
Wrote
He wrote
Chinatown. Yeah.
The Last Detail. He wrote
Oh my God.
Bonnie and Clyde, but he also wrote a fantastic scene in The Godfather. It was
Which scene?
It was the one between when The Godfather was trying to give to the son about preparing him for the meat.
Yeah,
And he's
exactly.
apologizing
In the
for not having
car
enough time.
or in the garden?
The
in the
one
garden.
the one who comes to you, he's gonna be the one who's going
He's
to be
gonna be one.
setting.
Have we talked
You'll
about this
be-
before?
You'll
You
be
know my favorite
assassinated
line when they're in the
at that
car
meeting.
together,
We
and
should
it's
have
just
time.
the way Brando says it.
Right.
Tatalia's a pimp.
Pimp. He could have
Italians.
never
He's
outfought
a pimp.
Santino.
That's
What I
right.
didn't know until today is it was Barzini all along. I didn't know that Frank Sinatra wanted the role of Barzini. He campaigned to get that
They
role.
thought it was too close to home.
I think it might have, but I mean, the casting in that movie is so good, anyways. I mean,
The problem
I can't
is with
second guess
Sinatra.
anyone. Yeah,
The problem with it is with Sinatra is this isn't From Here to Eternity when he's iconic, and no one's going
Right.
to look at him and go, "Oh, that's no." They're going to say it's Sinatra.
Yeah.
They can't help
it's
it.
true. Well, I think that's why
Yeah.
they made the casting decisions they made. Remember, Al Pacino was virtually unknown. He'd had one movie, The Panic in Needle Park.
Mhm.
Well, if you saw the offer on Paramount Plus, you'd know how little they wanted Pacino.
Pacino.
They didn't.
Oh, by
wanted-
the way, there's a guy named Bob Golub, comedian.
I know
He
Bob.
He's a
Bob
nice guy.
from
Very
San
nice
Francisco.
guy.
From San Francisco, right?
No, he's from New York.
Oh, okay.
From Jersey, actually. And so he desperately wanted to be in Goodfellas, desperately. And every day he would go up to Scorsese because it was in Jersey. He said, "You have to put me in this movie. I know you think I'm an idiot, but I'm not. I grew up with these guys. Please, I don't care how small the part is. You will not be disappointed. I'm begging you, please." And he never bugged him. He just said, you don't understand. I will deliver. And he put him in. And the part he played was the truck driver who allowed his truck to be hijacked.
Yes. Yeah.
So this is the great part about this. So he gets hijacked and he comes back into the diner and he says, give me change. And he goes, 2 niggers just stole my truck. Do you believe that shit? And he goes, and Mike Ivey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Ivey said, the line was originally 2 guys stole my truck, but Bob improvised.
But the thing is, he was right to do it.
Oh, I got the Robert Town writing credits. Now this isn't
Okay.
This is just writing. Ready? The Last Woman on Earth. Wasn't that one of those
Yes.
sci-fi B films? Last Woman on Earth.
1954, 1955.
He was
Start somewhere.
He was a writer on the Lloyd Bridges show.
Oh yeah.
Sea
The
Hunt?
television series Breaking Point. He wrote
Mhm.
Outer Limits episodes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
He wrote the screenplay for The Tomb of Ligier.
For the what?
The Tomb of Ligier.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. He was a writer of one episode of The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay.
He wrote Bonnie and Clyde, uncredited. I mean, he didn't write it. He was a writer on it. Did some contributions to Bonnie and Clyde. He wrote the screenplay for Via Rides.
He also wrote The Last Detail.
He wrote. He had some writing, uncredited writing in McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
Yeah.
Great movie.
He wrote The Last Detail.
Yeah.
When Randy Quaid was normal.
Yeah.
Who was the female lead in McCabe and Mrs. Miller? Is that Julie
Christie.
Christie. Okay.
He wrote Chinatown, Yazuka. He wrote Shampoo. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Nice.
Shampoo.
Evidently, he has a good relationship with Warren Beatty.
He
Yeah.
wrote Missouri Breaks with Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando.
So that's
Yeah.
3 movies with Beatty.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who directed Missouri
He
Breaks?
was not credited with the screenwriting, but he did have some part in Heaven Can Wait.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's 4.
And Tequila Sunrise is an unrated and under the
He wrote-
wire type of
Great movie.
action.
Great
Yes, it is.
movie.
Great movie.
He wrote Personal Best with Muriel Hemingway.
Interesting movie.
That's when I wanted to be a lesbian.
Who didn't?
He co-wrote Greystone, The Legend of Tarzan. Greystone,
Oh, wow.
of Tarzan.
That was a good Tarzan too.
Well, that's the movie where Andie MacDowell had to have Glenn Close do her voice because Andie MacDowell talked like this, and she couldn't talk that way if she's from England. So Glenn Close did her voice.
He wrote Tequila Sunrise, Days of Thunder, which was that auto racing.
Horrible movie.
Yeah.
That
Well,
That movie was done for one reason,
Money.
so the producers could get laid.
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
He wrote The Two Jakes, which was a sequel to
Chinatown.
With Jack.
Jack Nicholson.
He wrote The Firm, which was based on a novel.
Wonderful film.
Yeah.
He wrote Love Affair. Never heard of it.
Is that the one with Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep?
I gotta zoom in on this one, and I'll let you know. It's with Robert De Niro and Meryl Streep. Very good. All right, back to the
They're having an affair.
An affair. He wrote the first Tom Cruise Mission Impossible,
Oh wow.
the original one, before all the sequel. Oh, and he wrote number 2 also.
Wow.
What
Did
a
he do anything on the Marathon Man?
What a loser.
No, that was Goldman that wrote Marathon Man.
Okay. But he did any
Bo Goldman?
No,
William Golden. Wasn't
William Goldman.
Oh, William Goldman.
Goldman.
Some shit.
He wrote a film called Ask the Dust that I never heard of.
Ask the Ducks?
Ask the
Ask the
Dust.
Dust.
D-U-S-T.
it? That's the doctor.
No, but I mean, they say that the screenplay for Chinatown is the perfect screenplay, and they study it all the time because it's just.
You know
the
what? When I was a film studies student at Wayne State, Chinatown was one of the. You're right. Chinatown was one of the film scripts that we did
Do
study.
you know what Spielberg said was the best script he ever had in his life?
Duel?
That he ever had a part in was American Beauty.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
love the line. I love the line.
Is that the one with Kevin Spacey? That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He plays a straight man.
I
good acting.
love, and very well. I love
Yep.
the line where their neighbors are saying, "How do you do that with your roses? Eggshells and he goes and Kevin Spacey goes, "I get exhausted just watching her."
Notice how her
And
how
also
her
the
gloves
scene where
are-
she's
are
showing
coordinated.
the
Yeah.
house.
Oh yeah.
Whoever designed that house should get an Oscar because that house was so mediocre.
Yes. Scott Bakula played the gay neighbor. which
Oh, yeah.
thought
I was up
a
for
nice-
that.
Yeah. Really? You?
No, no, they said I was too butch.
All right. He only directed 4 films. You want to take a guess at his 4 films?
Sure.
All right.
Oh, 4 films that he directed?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
He wrote all 4 of them.
I have no idea.
I'm saying The Creature.
And we only have a minute left.
No, probably the biggest one on the list is Tequila Sunrise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Name
Yeah.
4 actors who all won Oscars who lived to be 100.
Oh wow.
You got me.
Got to be George
George Burns,
Yeah.
Eva Marie Saint,
Ah,
Yeah.
Louise Rayner,
Okay.
and Olivia de Havilland.
Oh, Olivia de Havilland, right. She was
Yeah.
a pepper house, you know?
Olivia,
Yeah.
his
she lived
other
to 105.
Robert Towne's other films that he directed were Personal Best in '82, Without Limits in '98, and Ask the Dust in 2006.
That
Okay.
can't be a hallmark for him.
No, I'd say Tequila Sunrise is probably the biggest of
We
all.
are approaching 1 hour, if I can remind everybody.
Oh, thank you thanks for letting me know. Yeah, because we could keep talking, but I want to get this out for.
Good. Next week we'll review the career of John Sayles, both the
There we
movies
go.
he's directed.
Did he die?
I met
No.
John Sayles. He thinks I'm a stalker. Okay, there we go.
Oh, we'll hear the Andy Jensen stalking.
John
The title of which is, "Yes, that's great. Now get off me."
Yes. I didn't mean to mess you up. Okay, so.
Man, I'm
Yes,
gonna
your
put the
daughter
music
is
on.
lovely. Now get out.
An Albert
good.
Brooks retrospective.
Anyway, and there's our music. Now it's official. We can leave. So. We'll see everybody
Good.
next
I'm going to go
week.
back to Vanessa Del Rio for my background.
Next week, the wit and wisdom of Rob Schneider.
That would
The
be a
short-
fun discussion.
The shortest film ever.
Yeah, right. No shit. All right,
What a
we'll see you-
self-destructive guy.
we'll hear everybody.
Wait, did you talk about Donald
It's
Sutherland?
the off night. Contact me.
Donald Sutherland?
On the YouTube page, and I'm on Facebook.
Blue velvet. Oh, bluer than
All right.
velvet.
We're getting out of here. We'll see you guys.
Ooh,